There are over 260 species of monkeys in the world, and while all primates are known for their mischievousness, certain monkey species stand out for their klepto tendencies. Chimpanzees, baboons, and macaques have been observed stealing food from one another, and sometimes it's not even the food that they're after. It could be something else entirely. Do these monkeys know what they're doing is wrong? Are they simply imitating their favorite primate YouTubers? Or is there another explanation behind their naughty behavior? Keep watching to find out why some monkeys steal. Chimpanzee research has revealed how clever some monkeys can be when it comes to swiping someone else's dinner. In 2017, a group of chimpanzees living at a zoo in the Czech Republic planned ahead to ensure they got their hands on some tasty treats. A visitor had left some chicken in a plastic container on a table outside the enclosure. The chimps knew exactly where this food would end up, so they waited until the humans were done with their meal. But instead of rushing to grab the food, the chimps hung back. One chimp distracted the keeper, while the other snuck over and took the container. This particular heist was captured on security footage, but it wasn't an isolated incident. The same two chimps repeated their sneaky trick 3 days later. On this occasion, the keeper tried to prevent the theft by putting the container inside his own jacket pocket. But the chimps weren't deterred, managed to grab the food and escape before the keeper realized what had happened. But if chimps are capable of such cunning tactics, then surely they understand that stealing is wrong. Well, maybe. Right. Chimps do have the ability to distinguish right from wrong in some circumstances. When carrying out experiments in the early 1990s, researchers discovered that chimps would refuse to pull a lever if it meant receiving less food than their fellow chimps. They also refused to pull the lever if it meant taking food away from another chimp. And if a chimp managed to get more food by pulling a lever, but then saw that this caused the other chimps to receive no food, it would actually give some of their own food to the others. So chimps do know that stealing is wrong. And despite this, it still happens. Maybe it's just too hard to resist grabbing that extra piece of chicken. Macaques are another monkey species that engage in thieving behavior. These old-world monkeys live in South Asia, and some have even adapted to life in big cities. Indian macaques have become infamous for their knack for snatching snacks and valuables from unsuspecting tourists. And it seems that stealing is part of their nature. While most macaque species don't live in groups larger than 40 individuals, there are exceptions. In some areas of India, you'll find troops of macaques numbering more than 300 strong. Living in such large groups means that food needs to be guarded carefully, and these monkeys will steal from one another to make sure that they have enough to eat. Macaques that live in close proximity to humans are more likely to steal, because people often feed them. They grow accustomed to human food and begin targeting us for their next meal. Not only are these cheeky monkeys happy to steal our food, but they're not afraid to go after our prized possessions. Macas are notorious for stealing sunglasses and mobile phones.
Us.
Sometimes they just want to play with these items, but other times they hold them to ransom.
Us.
If they get bored of playing with their new toy, they might demand food in exchange for returning it. While most monkeys will steal food, there are some that will steal just for the sake of stealing. For example, in 2021, a group of rhesus macaques in China stole over 100 masks from residents. And in some cases, they were only interested in stealing the underwear from freshly washed clothes. So what's going on here? Have these monkeys gone rogue? Well, not necessarily. There may be an innocent explanation for their behavior. Some scientists suggest that stealing is just a form of play for monkeys, similar to how children like to play with their parents' keys or other small objects. And there's evidence to support this idea. Baboons have been observed throwing objects off shelves, even though there's no obvious reason behind their actions. This suggests that these monkeys enjoy the process of stealing itself rather than the reward of getting food or another prize. In some instances, though, baboons will steal because they want something specific. In 2018, a troop of gelada baboons in Ethiopia began stealing from a nearby research camp. At first, the baboons snatched water bottles, cameras, and sunglasses. However, they soon developed a taste for a different kind of treasure: hard-boiled eggs. It seems that the baboons had sampled these eggs during previous raids and decided that they wanted more. Their desire for eggs became so great that they began specifically targeting the camp's egg stores. The baboons broke into these stores in the early hours of the morning and stole around 10 eggs each. They would then take their booty to a secret location where they cracked the eggs open and ate them without being disturbed. Sometimes a monkey's craving for food can drive them to commit truly audacious acts of thieving. In 2013, a hungry spider monkey in Bolivia stole a man's cap and wouldn't give it back. Even when the owner offered him some fruit juice, the monkey refused to budge. He remained adamant that he would only return the cap once he had his fill of a delicious breakfast. Eventually, the monkey's owner agreed to his demands and handed over the cap, along with some scrambled eggs. And the monkey didn't even share his breakfast with the rest of his troop. He kept the eggs for himself. If you thought this was the peak of monkey mischief, then think again. Just 2 years later, another spider monkey in Bolivia pushed a boy off a chair in order to get at his French fries. The boy had been sitting in a restaurant eating his lunch when the monkey climbed onto the chair and tried to grab his food. When the boy moved away, the monkey shoved him off the chair so that he could feast on the fries. To add insult to injury, the monkey then made off with the boy's hat. A 2021 study published in the journal Animal Behavior revealed just how far a monkey will go to get its hands on some tasty treats. Researchers at Kyoto University in Japan set up an experiment involving 4 rhesus macaques. These macaques were trained to complete a task on a computer screen in exchange for a reward. Once they completed the task, they were given the choice of receiving their reward immediately or delaying gratification and receiving a more substantial reward later. The monkeys were able to delay gratification for up to 10 minutes to get a better reward. But they were only willing to do this when the better reward was a bunch of grapes. When the monkeys were offered a less desirable food item, they weren't prepared to wait even 1 second. This suggests that their decision to wait for a bigger payout was driven by their desire for a specific food, not just a desire for more food in general. And some monkeys will steal not for themselves, but for their future offspring. Female bonobos have been observed stealing food in order to give it to their future babies. Bonobos are known for being highly affectionate and nurturing towards their young, and they steal food for their future children as early as 8 months before giving birth. This makes them one of the few species in the animal kingdom that will plan for their offspring's future. Stealing is certainly widespread among monkeys. But the motivations behind their thieving range from survival to pure naughtiness. So next time you're hanging out with a bunch of monkeys, keep your valuables close to hand. Now watch. Why do cats rub against you? Or check out. Can you be friends with a monkey?